There is no doubt that the reason, I mean, like, I will not play games with strangers anymore online. I just don't. I just won't. I mean, if I play Halo 3, I'll play with the guys here. If I play Madden, I'll play with like Luke Smith. Only person I'll play. I only play friends. Drives me nuts how immature online gaming is. It's an immature world.
What's your take? Ask Robert, since in your recent time with Xbox Live.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you put a microphone in front of somebody, and the first thing they're gonna say is, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Shit, fuck. Like there's just like
caveman's first word.
Yeah, it's like once they realize that they can intrude upon your experience in some way, it just becomes like part of the aggression of playing an online game for some people.
And then they get pro tips on how to do it from Sean Elliott on our podcast.
You
do it with subtlety.
Well, it's not necessarily with subtlety. There's something different. Like, I mean, people, I've heard compare what I do to bullying. And, I was trying to defend it and say, no, bullying is not what I do. Bullying would be the equivalent of when you take someone and you're like, dude, why is your dick so small? Why is your dick so small? Push him a few times. No, why is your dick so small, dude? Or like, what are, and you start doing something like that. You pick on someone and you're specifically exploiting some insecurity they have, some difference or something like that. Whereas, I mean, some people think it's indefensible. In my mind, it's the difference between that and, say, discovering that when my helicopter is loaded with teammates and I ram it into a friendly tank, the team kills are counted against the tank driver rather than me, the helicopter pilot, and we can all punish him, which gets him kicked immediately from the server. That's like both me experimenting with the way that the game is designed. It's also having fun, but it's anyone.
I love these rationalizations.
It's not like saying, let's get this dude because I think he might be gay. Let's get him out of this server. It's like, hey, here's a random dude driving a tank. This is funny because he's just driving a tank. And it's not the same for me. I constantly say this. Hey, if someone's walking by the street and I got a bag of milk and hot dog chunks and I'm like, this will be funny to throw on someone. I don't do that. I don't just throw it on someone who walks by, right? Because I think, getting kicked because the stakes are different. That's literally humiliating, right? If someone were to throw some shit on you on the street, it's upsetting and there are very real consequences. You got to go clean up and this and that. In the game, I got kicked from a server. Like, you just join again. You go to another one, So it's like I don't do it all the time.
I know you do, and I haven't really talked to you about this, but what is your motivation for this? Because I understand, like, you do go out and like to have quote unquote fun with people. What are you really getting out of it besides just kind of pissing people off?
It's fun. It just makes me laugh when it happens, and
But I know how much I love you, but don't you think you're part of the problem?
I don't think it's the same. I think it could be a part of a problem, but I think it's not the same. Like, say again, if I'm in a server and I'm doing, like a character or something, a Ralphie character, and now at least Robert and Jeff have heard it. It's not the same as these guys that are calling out someone whose name is Gay Boy.
I do agree. It's different.
It is different. Like. Yeah, supercharged terms over and over again,
I agree. But you are, at the same time, you are still kind of, you're not being as harsh as maybe someone saying gay boy or whatever, but.
From my experience listening to Shawn now, what it seems to me is more like he's kind of, on one hand, you could say he's being an asshole, but on the other hand, I think actually what he's doing is he's ferreting out the assholes. He sort of throws these things out here, and the real assholes are the ones who respond to him. And then Shawn just baits them more. So
that's the voice stuff is always that.
Right. He's kind of calling out the guys who are likely to call other people retards.
Gotcha. If someone is like, hey, could you be quiet? I'm just trying to play. Then they're no fun to mess with. Yeah. It's the guy that immediately starts screaming, dude, you sound like you got a dick in your throat. That's the guy that's exactly the guy that
so you're looking for the closet ass.
I'm not like the Punisher of video games, like the Vigilante.
I think mostly you're trying to create a surreal experience for other people. I kind of dig that. Something in me would like to go online and play a game and run into some kid who keeps on talking about how his grandmother got him a video game so he can make friends and have this like really weird experience, that you never really have. It reminds me of stuff like, you hear about that group in New York who is Improv
Anywhere.
Yeah, Improv Anywhere. They do all these bizarre pranks pranks where they take turns getting onto New York subway stops pantsless, until the car's filled with pantsless people, and then have someone drive a hot dog cart through selling pants.
And then it's something that
they
go and talk about it all month, and then their life. It's not like I'm making their life more interesting by doing a retard voice on the internet, but it's like magic. Their time in that game. I mean, ideally, it's a little more interesting, and I don't think it's anywhere near, unless you're just like, prone to be irate at the smallest, provocation. I don't think it's anywhere near the people that are screaming, N-words and all these other things on there.
Yeah, I do want to go ahead.
But I was going to say, to take it back to that point, the difference between, I mean, again, this is just, anecdotal. I'm saying in my experience, there seems to be a discrepancy. So people, it would be interesting to see on their message boards, people that listen to our podcast and write responses, see if you notice any difference. And one of the few explanations that comes to mind for me is that because of the dedicated nature of PC servers, there's almost always an admin or moderator or someone with the ability to like kick people. So what happens is if you go into, say a Team Fortress server and you start spouting off that kind of incendiary language, then someone just kicks you immediately.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of it. You don't just kind of go on it like the kids in the back of the field behind the Kmart getting away with whatever. There's an old dirty porno mag back there and they're blowing off fireworks and stuff. It's not the same environment.
I'm saying like I know. Yeah, we did that.
I did back there. That was where I saw my first penthouse.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in general, I think gamers could do a better job of vetting the community. I think we could use a little bit of like, we're cooler than you. Gamers should be, we're cool. We're above getting online and, randomly, assaulting people with middle school insults. And
But of course they're not. I mean,
yeah, well, but I want to be in the club that is too cool for that.
Right? But the gaming community is a subset of humanity at large. So you've got your assholes, you've got your nice people, And
I also think it's the type of game you're playing. I mean, I imagine when you play WoW, it's a very different experience than when you're playing a Team Fortress or,
It is. I mean, in a game that is not competitive, but is actually cooperative, in general, you will find, and MMOs in general tend to attract this is not the 13 to 25-year-old male. It's probably a greater cross-section of humanity, so chances are, you're just not going to get that kind of locker room mentality like you will more often in a shooter. Yeah. But what's interesting to me is this thing, it got brought up for a second at the beginning here, is the Xbox Live community or any console live community less mature than the PC online community? I mean, I sort of am not sure if that's
I haven't played enough PC online games to even compare the two. I mean, Shawn, you've played a lot. Robert, you guys.
Well, Shawn, your point about the dedicated servers, I think, is probably true, right?
I think that's probably a major factor in it. I mean,
certainly we've all been in PC games online where we're getting called fag,
Yeah. It's all money, though. I mean, that's the difference. Like, if the PC gaming audience is more mature, it's because the cost of entry is more expensive. You can a kid can afford an Xbox, and a parent is more likely to buy an Xbox than a $2,000 computer.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. I mean, my experiences in Xbox Live, most of my online shooter gaming. In the console, it comes from Call of Duty 4, so I'm new to it, and I have noticed, on average, my per capita gaming, versus like lousy experiences with other players, is very, very high. Yeah. In Call of Duty 4. I mean, meaning almost every game there's dudes calling each other names.
Whereas I've never had that happen in the PC one at all. Period. And I've played to level 55. So.
But they also seem younger too, like you're saying. They seem.
Yeah. Have you guys? Did you read about them doing in the new dashboard update that they're going to let you look at the friends of your friends?
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I could see Xbox Live going in a more social networking direction and try to let you find more people that you can get along with who aren't your real world friends. Mm-hmm. Where you could at least like find the friends of people that to be acceptable players, and try to stake out more a bigger friends list so that you don't have to go out into the sort of wilds of Xbox Live to.
Is that their motivation for doing it?
I don't know.
I think so, but also, I mean, how much can you really learn from a guy who makes up probably a name that you don't even understand or can pronounce, and what games they've played with their achievements? Like, there's I can understand, you want to see all of the EGM guys, all their friends and who they hang out. Maybe they're hanging out with developers or something like that. But yeah, do you even know unless they say this is such and such from this developer? There's no information about you.
Yeah.
It's not like a Friendster or a Facebook or something that actually has some meat to it. All you're knowing is what games they played and how many points they have. You're not really learning anything about them. So you don't really. I mean, can you really get that much about their gaming habits or how are they assholes online or not?
Right.
There's got to be another step to it. Like it's got to have some type of bigger profile.
Yeah. It would be cool to see them join Open Social, but somehow I don't think Microsoft's going to go for that. To just add it to your own social network. But I guess they could continue to add more things where you could get to know people. But
I think that I think it's just
they added
seeing
video
friends.
chat. Why don't you use it?
Yeah, seeing friends of friends, I think is a step that I understand is more of a social network thing, but it does. I don't think it really tells you much. If you want to, when the point is to kind of go out and meet more people that may be fun to play online games with. It's still a crapshoot for me.
You have to know about your friends. You have to know about how readily they accept requests and stuff too. So if there's someone who just clicks yes on every single time they get an invite because they want to be Joe Popular, it's not going to be helpful to you in any way, shape, or form to look at their friends list.
Yeah, because I know in the beginning I just accepted everybody.
Picky.
Yeah, right. My list is full and mostly from
and I have
people
no idea who they are.
Right.
I'd say 70% I don't know who the hell they are.
Right.
I only have people that I know.
Well, I learned my lesson on Xbox Live, and now, on Facebook and things, I only take people I know. So actually, if you're listening and you've tried to be my friend, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because, maybe I don't like you.
I just don't know.
I'm just doing, that's my family and friends thing. Do the Xbox Live games have the ability at all to kick a player? Can you do that?
You can get feedback. You can get feedback, and if you get enough,
that doesn't do anything.
You
were about to say if you get enough. If you get enough, what? Then you can get more.
No, if you get but if you get enough negative feedback, they will ban you from Xbox Live.
Really?
Yeah, the whole thing is how much how long
does anyone use that function? Because
I know people who said that every time they're playing Halo, every time they play and they lose to another team, they give negative feedback to every person on their team. I've heard of people say things like
really?
that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Look who you're dealing with. If someone's going to say the things that they say on there, is that a surprise? Oh, God forbid they do that. After they called you this, and
Yeah.
So there is that. We say, is there a system in place? Yes, but is it effective? Yeah. I don't think so. I don't really see any evidence of that.
It's your word against theirs, and Microsoft can't arbitrate in that. I don't imagine they would.
No, I think some magazines have done articles trying to get kicked off Xbox Live and whether it was successful or not. So.
It comes as no surprise, really, that a bunch of guys who are basically in complete arrested development, because this is what they're choosing to do with their free time, cannot be mature when playing with others online, but it sure would be nice if they tried. Really kills online gaming.
But no, it just really annoys me when I'm going out. I just want to play a couple rounds of some, Team Fortress or Halo or Call of Duty, and it's 75% of the time I never even put my mic on.
I swear, it seems like every match I played of Call of Duty 4, one guy would be threatening the other guy of finding him in real life and kicking his ass.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And the conversation would always be the same. He'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I know how. I'll find you. I can do it. You believe
That's
it.
The best
I'll
thing.
see your IP address.
The very first Ralphie griefing video that I posted was as soon as I got some guy mad, he threatened me with that. So then the response was well, I'll fuck you up in real life. And then if someone's going to respond seriously to that, no, dude, I'm going to get you in real life.
We should get Ziff to do a one-up video feature where we fly to people who have decided they hate each other and want to kill each other to San Francisco and have talks and possibly a fight, but talks, peace talks.
Yeah.
So, do you think you could play Call of Duty 4 with Rick without getting angry, Matt? What makes you so angry? How's your situation at home?
That would be good.
That would be pretty cool.
Encounter session.
And then, or just invite him to fight. And we get busted
even better.
This guy said your mom's so fucking fat, man. You better fucking hit him.
Sponsored by GFW.
On the griefing thing, before we finish that, I did want to say that because I talk about it, you might get the impression that that's all I do when I go on. But, that's not the case at all. That's, something that sporadically punctuates, very serious play. Where, I'm playing to win or, I like to, like Team Fortress, I like to play like a leader role, or I mean, absolutely serious.
That's when people need to come
heroes.
on and grief you.
And
When
then
you're in
that'd
super
be
serious
ultimate
mode.
revenge.
Most of the time, you're just like sort of spouting obscure, bizarre jokes to Rory on TeamSpeak. Anyway,
Back and
so
forth.
yeah, there's
need
not
that.
a lot of griefing, and if people heard what you were talking about, they'd probably just think you were fucking crazy.
You tell me if this is griefing. Maybe this is one of the origin stories of it. And right after high school, we were at this party, and it was to watch The Toxic Avenger. I think you know this one, and there was some alcohol. Some people were, they were drinking alcohol. Some people were participating in the inhalation of marijuana, of smoke from the marijuana plant. And so they start this movie, and there's this one guy.
We don't condone that here.
No, we don't. I'm saying this was a horrible.
But it makes graphics awesome.
And this guy, there's one of the people that was there. He was like, my friends. It was my friend's house, and his sister was there too, and she had some of her girlfriends, and they invited some guys over too. And I got the sense immediately that this guy was absolutely credulous. Like, I could basically write this guy's reality for him by just saying things. So I couldn't help myself. And the movie started, and I told him, I just started casually saying, like, hey, you've seen this before, right? He's like, no, I haven't. And I was like, well, this is the most controversial film ever recorded.
The Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger. I was like, I have books on its creation, and on the controversy and some of the the lawsuits that went down afterward. And basically what this is every act of violence you see in here is real insofar as it's really happening to someone. What they did was they took all these people with terminal illnesses and stuff, and they told their families, and they told them, hey, we'll give you this amount of money. We're going to let you do whatever you want. We'll hook you up in this way, and we'll just shoot you up full of morphine, and then we're just going to do these scenes. It's so unfunny when I'm saying it now for some reason. It's like,
Because it's kind of scary.
so the guy was
I'm getting all
watching.
freaked out. Wait, now was this guy? He was impaired by the cannabis leaf.
And alcohol as well,
Okay.
yeah. And I
All right.
believe he might have been impaired naturally without not in a clinical sense, but just
You
in
just
the,
mean because like
the
his
way you
parents were
assess
first
one
cousins
person or
something.
another. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm telling him this, and then the movie's just starting, and he's getting nervous. And so then the first act of violence in the movie, and the movie's ridiculous. This is why I think I was willing to do it. Maybe if it was like Saw or something, which I've never seen, but anything that's like even slightly credible. This is the kind of movie where someone gets their arm ripped off and they just put some ragu, some spaghetti hanging on the side.
Right.
It's so clearly spaghetti.
Right.
Or they'll do like a
Evil
quick
Dead.
cut in the person's like head that's exploding turns
Yeah.
into like a balloon full of foam or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so the first thing is that there's this kid, and they're on a bicycle, and the punks are driving around their car, and they're like, dude, run him over. That's 20 points. So everyone else that was there, most everyone else was there, had seen the movie before, and they're just ready to laugh because it's so completely stupid. It has so many like idiotic lines in it and quotable. And so they hit the kid, and it's like clearly it's like a dummy. It goes flying over the car, and everyone starts laughing. And this guy, I look over at him, he's just kind of like looking, really seriously at it. And then the guy in the car's like, he's still moving. That's not full points. That's not full points. So then he's like, I'll show you full points. And then he's like, backs up, and they back up over the kid. And that's when they put like a squash or something under a tire, and then they run over. And the kid at that point, like, he looked like he was getting ill. And I was like,
He thought he was watching a snuff film.
I know. And then at that point, I was like, man, I'm just joking with you, dude. I'm sorry. So I guess I answered my own question. I was going to ask
you griefed him.
but I guess it was.
I hope you feel bad now, don't you?
Jerk.
I feel bad about that. Do we need to do a break?
Yeah, we'll do a quick break, and we'll be right back with hopefully something a little more socially responsible.